What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber die trying. You see the thumbnail. Is, digital discrimination real? So, I was watching Coded Bias on Netflix. You know, get past a little of the agenda pandering. And basically, it's saying that the racism that's poured into the American society was poured into the artificial intelligence and algorithms because basically you had predominantly white people doing the artificial intelligence. So basically, they made AI in their own image. So what winds up happening is if you're white, you're favorable. If you're not white, you're unfavorable. And now, it's mechanized, it's digital in the sense of, you know, kind of like Minority Report. If anybody remember that movie with Tom Cruise, they would arrest people before a crime would actually happen because they had like people seeing the future in a sense. So people are predicting in life you're not going to amount to much because of the algorithms. But it also says that these other people are going to amount to something because of the algorithms. Thus, digitally skewing life in their favor. Now, it's like 9 major tech companies, 6 of them are in the U.S. China has a similar artificial intelligence thing, but they're a more homogeneous society, meaning that it's really not quote unquote diverse. So there's no way to say this person, looks different from this person, so this person is going to get a different outcome. So what it seems like they're doing is, if you say you speak out against the Chinese government, then the algorithm starts to have an effect in your day-to-day life. Like America is different, where you're born, your race, they say your gender, your zip code, your class. All of these play into the algorithm to the point where if you're a teacher and you're not white, you're going to wind up being a bad teacher in the algorithm, even if you're an award-winning teacher. They had it like, I think in the UK, if you're working, with all the surveillance cameras, the police run down on a guy because they think he's somebody else because, facial recognition sees him as a criminal. And you're like, well, I mean, to me, it makes a lot of sense. This goes into what you talking about, home loans and think about it, kid. Home loans and what do you call that? Credit scores and whatnot. This goes into job applications and resumes. You can get wiped off of a resume because of an algorithm. So it's not really a racial issue because the algorithm sees you as, you're not a good candidate because of the school you went to, or as the way I look at it, probably your name. So it just takes you. It puts some people in the room. It takes some people out of the room. More so, the thing was more so black and white, but black, white, and Hispanic. It wasn't really Asian because it didn't say the algorithm did anything to Asians, because I would think, Asians are in Silicon Valley, so I'm guessing even with that artificial intelligence, they also had a space for their own image because they were there creating it. What the heck did I just do? So what winds up happening is you're living in a society where we're playing around and we're not really playing around. We're using a computer to extend the racial dynamics, because that spills into housings. I would guess that spills into college admissions. I would guess, like I said, it already spills into hiring. It spills into surveillance because at the minimum you're going to get watched, but it's just how much you're going to get watched. So now, depending on your face, like they did a scan of a facial scan of congressmen and women, and basically a good chunk of the ones that were pretty much so black were scanned similar to criminals. And that's the other thing. When you go in a courtroom, these same algorithms give people if you're black, it's going to give you more points to say you're going to be a criminal, you're going to be recidivist, you a predicate felon type of thing. So you need, probably maximum time. If you're white, you can do the same thing, but the same algorithm is not going to view you as that, so you're not really a threat to society. So we're going to lower your score. Could be the same exact crime. You just change the race, and the algorithm changes, and which is the same as American society prior to the algorithm. So it's like, and the only thing about it is you have people in positions and places realizing that we basically programmed a bias into our future as far as artificial intelligence. And in some ways, just like American society, that bias is going to come to fruition because, computers don't see right or wrong. They just see algorithms. And they're supposed to be self-learning. So the interesting thing about it is, if you teach a computer racism, is it gonna see racism as effective? If you teach it, if you program discrimination into an algorithm, is it gonna see discrimination as effective and efficient, or is it gonna start weeding out the inefficiency in it? But so if that winds up happening with technology, then it says a lot about this country. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Like, share, subscribe, or that. Try and catch y'all on the next one. Peace.